All right, hello again. We are doing a triple decker today. So, we're kind of bouncing all over the spectrum here. We have some deep inner personal stuff with the first video. The second video we were doing Sucker for Sex, definitely more blunt and kind of out there thing. And now we're doing a dark, depressive, reflective slash prophetic song. So this one is called Darkest Day. This is definitely one of my harder songs in every way, shape, and form. My hand actually cramps up a lot on this one because it just cannot handle playing in a D fucking power chord for long. So apologies if this doesn't sound as good as it should. I really don't have the ability to do multiple takes, so we'll kind of see how it goes. But this one's got some story and some background, and like I said, it ends up telling some things in the future. So let's get it knocked out. Sitting there just crying, knowing you'll be leaving, and all I want's to hold you, and yet you slip away, and all I'm left's with pieces, fragments of a shattered mind. Thinking about the last time that I had seen your face. You look so cold and lonely. Could it be the same? No. I used to know that girl behind there, hiding behind that stare. Now all she does is remind me that I'm scared. There ain't no sunshine when she gone. Only rain and pain upon me every night. Oh, every night. I've never seen a darker day. Never wanted life so badly in my life before. I never know. There ain't no sunshine when she gone. Only rain and pain upon me every night. Oh, out of sight. I've never seen a darker day. Never wanted life so badly in my life before. Never know. I have what it takes to see this through. All I know is I can't look in the mirror without you. It's as easy as 1, 2, 3, I know. All I have to do is click, pull, here I go. There ain't no sunshine when she gone. Only rain and pain upon me every night. Oh, out of sight. I've never seen a darker day. Never wanted life so badly in my life before. Never know. There ain't no sunshine when she gone. Only rain and pain upon me Whew. Definitely should say there's a volume warning in this. Actually, it didn't turn out half bad for a song I haven't played in a while. Okay, sorry, I need to come down from performance mode. I always get into that song a little bit. So, Darkest Day. I think it's pretty obvious where you can hear some of my influence. I was going through a blues stage, of course. We're talking about how this is part of my second album and how there was that natural evolution from our prior video. This was a little different. So I was starting to go through a little bit of a depressive cycle because right around this time was when the band started imploding. And I was listening to a bunch of more sadder blues songs, and obviously Ain't No Sunshine was one of those songs. And Bill Withers, definitely a good blues musician, and that song just like really his song, I don't know. It's one of those songs where you can just get it, you relate. And I was really inspired to try and do my own take on something like that. I was talking about not necessarily something generic, because maybe you've gone through life and you haven't had loss yet. But I touched on a subject that I think a lot of people kind of got and relate to. And unfortunately, definitely was a little too accurate with things of how it worked out in my future. So when we're talking about writing the song, obviously I'm talking about death. I'm talking about the loss of a loved one. In this case, it would be either a girlfriend, wife, spouse, something like that. And what I used for the inspiration was an amalgamation of a lot of people who ended up passing away in a relatively short period of time in my life in 2001. I had lost my aunt, family friend, obviously 9/11 happened, and a couple of other people through my family. So it was a very tumultuous, traumatic time. And I remember going to a lot of these funerals. And even when I was younger, my aunt, who was a sergeant with the Chicago police force, she ended up passing away from a needle stick and ended up getting AIDS. So she died a few years before that. And then even my grandfather, I think he died when I was like 2-3 years old. So I remember vague bits of it, but nothing serious. But the thing that always got me was looking at the casket and just seeing somebody. And even at a young age, at least for me, I realized that person wasn't there. But it was always so confusing because when we look at death and we look at funerals, we're talking about basically a ritual that's extended for millennia. We feel a strong desire to see, to visually grasp that someone we love is now no longer with us. And what I find fascinating about human nature is that we tend to want to like personify them through their looks. Like we want to see them as they lived every day. And that always really struck me as odd because, for kids, it's got to be, you can't really comprehend, sometimes it just literally looks like they're sleeping and you're just like, why aren't you here? Wake up. We're here for you. So sorry, I just got hit with a huge wave of grief. Anyway, let's give it a minute. So channeling something like that is obviously a difficult thing. But like I said, I was going through a little bit of a depression. So this song we had worked on a handful of times, but never ended up performing with our original bassist. This song we ended up playing with our newer bassist that we got shortly after. I'm not sure when I'm going to start addressing it. Probably in the next song, just because this song's already got a lot to unpack, so I don't want to get too much on it. But like I said, we put out our album, and due to some bad luck, we didn't end up getting as much reception as we would have liked. So our label ended up dropping us shortly after the new year, and we were kind of like, fuck, what do we do? So all of us handled it in weird different ways, and it got to a point where we were starting to miss shows and screw up gig opportunities. So I ended up taking my frustrations out by kicking out our bass player, who was a part of that problem, which is definitely a mistake. I was not even 21 yet, still very young, didn't know what the fuck I was doing. So a lot of music during this time period is going to start reflecting a little bit of my break from mental stability. But it's weird. Like there's only hints of it. This is the only song that really addresses it, but everything else is always just kind of little bits and pieces. So, like I said, never ended up getting it with my never ended up performing it with my original bassist. We ended up getting another bass player who subbed in for a handful of gigs and then ended up being a mainstay. And then right when we were going to start taking off again, she ended up having to leave. But we did play this about 5 or 6 times, if I remember correctly. And it always got a good reception. Everyone hated where I got the influence and that I was taking lyrics of Ain't No Sunshine When She's Gone. And this is something I'll kind of die on the hill for. I think it's okay to emulate a song, especially when you are so ingrained and you have such a love. Like Bill Withers is such a great musician. Blues is just a genre that really rings and resonates with me. And I've said it several times on other videos. But I felt like I was doing a legacy proud by kind of not even paraphrasing, just straight up saying like, hey, I could not have come up with better lyrics. I would like to use yours. Obviously I think musicians kind of think of things differently. I think all creative people are okay in the long term with people borrowing or using their work. I think what just sucks is that because we live in a capitalist society and we have to treat ourselves like a product, in reference to other videos that I've talked about, that if you let it happen and you don't make any monetary gain, but somebody else does, it's going to burn you up. And I could totally understand that. I am not trying to steal work by any way, shape, or form. And if I ended up getting some finances, from the song, and a lawsuit would have came down, I 100% would have distributed it. Like, there's no ways about it. That was my influence. That lyric I think was really good, encapsulating the whole concept, and I wanted to use it to pay homage. But I didn't have to worry about any of that because I'm still a nobody. And I can perform this song, and those who get it are like, oh, okay, yeah, like that's kind of a good thing. And those who have never heard it, never heard of Ain't No Sunshine or Bill Withers, then I luck out because they think that I'm this phenomenal fucking musician who came up with this great idea. And I have corrected them. I've definitely been like, yes, that was inspired by X artist, X song. I always make sure I'm not a person who is shy or hesitant about their influences or how they come up with the writing process, which is why I do all these videos, right? So let's see. There's no album analytics because of this was going to be on my second album. This is going to be our closer. So in reference again, sorry, my nose is still running. Anytime I start like crying or weeping, whatever, it's always my nose that like takes the fucking longest to get the hint. My eyes are just like, all right, yeah, we can stop that. But this, no. Anyway, and because I got a mustache, it just feels like it's still in there. Anyway, I know I'm probably turning off everybody with this. This was going to be the closer to our second album. And in reference to my last video, what I wanted to do with my second album is I wanted to show a nice refined band with a sound that we nailed and we just had an idea and was going to deliver it full force. So I felt as an album closer, it was going to be a good roller coaster of emotions. So we have Sucker for Sex right off the bat. That's going to kick you in the face of just like, oh shit, this guy's for real. He is not blunt, or not blunt. Yeah, I am blunt. He's not subtle. That was kind of the whole theme of the second album. And I remember we kind of talked about that with my original bassist and my drummer. We were just like, yeah, I don't want this second album to be subtle. I want it to be completely upfront. And it was because I had an intent with my emotions. I want all these songs to reference something. So at the time, what we had, Sucker for Sex, Gots to Get, and this song. We had one more that I am not going to record yet. I'm going to wait. Well, this is weird. It's a quick side tangent. I have songs that are technically finished that I can put in this series, but I have to find those lyrics because if I cannot find them, then I would label them as incomplete because I now have to rewrite those lyrics. So if I can actually find the lyrics, I will then do it, because I only remember a verse and a half and the chorus. So if I can actually find the whole piece, I will happily do it, because it was supposed to be part of my second album. And chronologically speaking, I would like to address it, because otherwise it's going to go at the very tail end when I do a brief summary of all my unfinished works and separate them from their time period. So we'll see how that goes. But if we look at the 3 songs that we do have, Sucker for Sex, Darkest Day, and Gots to Get, those are 3 powerful emotional songs. So obviously there was the theme of I want strong work, I want strong emotions, and I want a feel that audience members can participate and experience. So that was the goal, and that's why I really like this song. So I've given myself enough time to go over why did I say the song was prophetic. Well, obviously, as we grow older, there is a time in your life where you realize people are on their last legs. Some situations have happened where some people who I definitely felt should still be here ended up leaving too soon. And this song grows more powerful every time I play it, because there's always more faces that I can vision. There's always more people I can think of who are, struggling with the same loss of and coping. So, taking the generic idea of death and grief and loss and looking at someone, it's going to stay with you. It's going to haunt you. And as much of a pessimist as I am, I'd like to think that's really what grief is just a love for a loss of love, in a way. And this song allows me to, when people are ready, of course, and I never want to force something when they're not ready. This song allows people to really explore and think about it. And it doesn't get easier. I don't give a fuck what people say, all the cliches in the movie. It gets easier every time you lose someone. No, it doesn't get easier. You get colder. You get more familiar with it. It doesn't make it easier. And I like this song because it reminds me that I'm scared. It reminds me that it still hurts. It's still a powerful experience. And every time I play that song, I would like to think that I channel the spirit of that loss when I was young. And now even infuse it with the losses of today, and really make it a very powerful song. So by that token, this is one of my favorite songs that I've written. It's simple. It doesn't have another verse. Like I said, we fall in that trope where I was doing 2 verses, 2 choruses for a while. So I just tack on a chorus at the end. And there was a solo for this right after the All I Do Is Click Pull, Here I Go. I don't think I really need to talk about that. I've talked about my mental health struggles for a long time. And I think it's very obvious that when you're in that state of mind and you're thinking about a loss, someone you've lost, it's very easy to be in that mindset to join them. So, of course, because of YouTube, I can't go into more detail. So yeah, again, roller coaster of emotions between all the videos that I've done. So this one's going to be a bit of a break. And yeah, I'm sure there's more that I could talk about with this video. Don't be surprised if a couple of shorts come on after I think about some things. But thank you very much for sitting through this one, and I hope this one didn't jar you too much and makes you remember those who you've forgotten. And this time of year, holidays can be hard for a lot of people. So hopefully this song can help you remember those that you can't celebrate with anymore. Stay safe and happy holidays.